Is it lovely to see you? We're in the Apollo Theatre, home, of course, of your latest success, The Go Between. Tell us about your character.
Mrs. Maudsley.
Yes.
Mrs. Maudsley belongs to a period in time that was about to be obliterated forever with the onset of the First World War as we commemorate the centenary of the Somme. It is, she wanted, they were a wealthy family but didn't have a title, and she wanted her daughter to have the title of Viscountess Trimmingham. And Trimmingham owning the house, they rented the house from Trimmingham, but I think she wanted to have the other things that went with it for her daughter. And unfortunately, things got in her way, and unfortunately she tips over the edge and ends her days in a sanatorium for those mentally unstable.
But it's the piece I find fascinating about it is the story could be set in any period, because it happens, it doesn't matter whether it's that period or today. People want to marry and influence.
Or parents have plans for their children.
Yeah.
And woe betide the child who doesn't deliver. Yes, because you think one's in a meritocratic society, and occasionally you get, oh my gosh, that whether it's religion or social standing, people want their children to marry for wealth, for stability, for etc. It is often quite surprising still.
You have some brilliant lines as well, quite sort of acidic, shall we say, about...
Yes, to my poor son, which is never explained in the book. It's never explained because it's all through Leo's eyes. So if Leo's not there, then we don't see it. So we have no idea, and it's in the book that all my lines are taken from the book. And so we never quite realise, we don't know, there's obviously a backstory to her relationship with poor Dennis, and she favours Marcus, Leo's friend. We don't know, and also she has they say it's like two cats meeting, Marion and Mrs. Maudsley, that they look at each other and then they go away. There is warmth, but there are two people who are too alike.
A bit of an agenda going on, sort of like that's how I felt.
With both.
I thought you get the feeling, good analogy that kind of like two cats that meet and then think, but you may connect at some point down the line. Yeah. Tell me, we had the lovely, of course, the legend that is Michael Crawford. I just adore him. I think he's brilliant, but I was explaining to him that when you've got young children, child actors, they're not aware of like your background of your work or his work or whatever. It's lovely not to have that fear, isn't it? When you're an actor and you're going... Gorgeous
to have the innocence and just doing the job. And they are all so entirely different. Yeah. And it is great for us because we can never be bored, because every night there's a different chemistry that happens with them because they're not on every night, so they bring a freshness to it, and the chemistry between the Marcus and the Leo every night is totally different. Although we have 3 pairs of 2, so it's not as if they change amongst themselves. But for us, it's ooh, here we go again, a different lot. Lord knows what will happen tonight.
I was going to say, as an actor, it must keep you on your toes.
Oh, totally on our toes.
You kind of think to yourself. I was saying this to Michael, like, when he first starts, normally a star of his magnitude, you would be maybe 20 minutes in or something before you saw him. So I was kind of shocked that he was there from the off.
Yes.
And I thought,
and he's really hardly ever, he has, I think, 30 seconds off in the whole evening, which is phenomenal for no matter how old you are. It is phenomenal to have that stamina. I just think he's...
When you got the role and you found out it was Michael, what was that like for you? Had you ever worked together before? Or?
I hadn't worked, but I have many friends who have. Simon Williams, who did No Sex Please, we were British with him, who had said his comic timing, which we don't see him, but is extraordinary, second to none.
In real life, though, isn't it?
Yes.
You can see him quipping.
Yes, exactly. So we have that in rehearsals and we have that backstage. But So it has just been a joy, and I can tick that off my wish list.
That's a nice thing to say, though. It's a nice thing to do as well. Now, I remember seeing you, of course, in being rather saucy with songs in Fascinating Aida, and I think I was kind of shocked because I'd known you from acting in musical theatre, and they're quite racy, some of those numbers, aren't they, in the review of Dilly Keys?
Oh, yes. No, but I think it's always good to push the boundaries, don't you?
I thought it was brilliant, but
yes.
you know, I was kind of thinking, that's the girl from, you know, like you do, and then you think, wow, that's a bit saucy.
I know, I think it's always good to push the envelope slightly. I always believe that in whatever you do. Just push the audience, see how far you can go, and with the songs that we wrote, it was always either something that was latent, bubbling beneath, or tackling a subject that was always possibly a thorny subject. So
I thought it was really girl power ahead of its time, though, personally,
yes.
because what you three girls did was put it in context of funny songs.
Yes.
But actually, it was quite stabby as well. You know,
yes.
you like really got to the knuckle of it all.
Yeah.
And then you think now it's more direct. But you all did it in smiles and glamorous outfits and like, we're so twee, really, you know. So when you got that response and people just bellowed laughing, because the songs had a lot of lyrics to remember, didn't they?
Yes, possibly with the people laughing with recognition, going, yeah, that's me actually, or it's my sister, or it's my father, or it's my mother, or it's somebody I know. So that's what, or it's whether it's German or you know, it's a national characteristic that people recognise and go, oh yeah, I'm glad. Have a little go at them.
Now you have had a very successful career, incredible, you know, sort of run, if you like. Is there anything you'd like to do next? You know, if you sort of talk about wish list, you think, what would you like to do for yourself as an actress?
Well, I've never. If looking at the things I've done, there's no career path.
No, but it's interesting because you know you have been very diverse in your choices, though, which is clever.
Yes, well, I mean that's the way it's gone, and that's the way I'm happy it's gone, because I don't wish to be pigeonholed, and as long as it's, I think the most important thing is to have fun, whether it is a dark story, but if you're surrounded by fun people. Life is too short not to enjoy yourself, is what I believe in, and if it's a challenge, I think that's a good thing. So. Did
you always want to be an actress, though, and a performer? So it was like from the off?
From the off, but I never thought it was a possibility.
And why is that?
Because of my background, my parents had no, I mean, I'm one of those foreigners that everyone's voted out. So, yes, don't. That was not a good morning. So they're Dutch, so they had no idea about drama schools or anything. It's not their world. So I came to it circuitously, having done a lot at school and then doing other things, and then going, actually, this is a vocation, I have to do it because I'm miserable not doing it. So found doing it and getting into a band, then being the only girl at Madame Jojo's for 18 months in the show there, and then, you know, just all sorts of things that finally led to no traditional training. I
think that, but actually that's an adventure in itself, isn't it? You know, because as you rightly say, I mean, it must have been interesting being the only girl in Madame Jojo's, because did people think you were not a girl because you're not?
No, they weren't. Honestly, the Sun was going to do an expose saying that I was a rent boy, that they were using 16-year-old rent boys and the thing is, the audiences were mostly drunk. So until a friend pointed out, who worked for News of the World, said, that's easy. She's met her. She's not a rent boy. And they went, oh, okay, right, okay. So we won't do that expose. So yes, they could always tell because my bottom was slightly differently shaped to the boys.
And so now, you know, now you're only a young girl, but now you're the period you're in your life. Are you amazed that you've got a career? I don't mean got a career, but that you've, you know, maintained a career. Do you know what I mean? Because from the dream of the off, we all have it where you think, if I could get paid for this would be great. Do you know what I mean? And then each job you think, I wonder if I'll ever get paid again.
No, but you do that, don't you? You kind of think, well,
I do.
It is. You think, well, I've got a job, and then this job will finish, and will I ever get another job? I think you just have to believe. It's not a job for life. This is not, and I don't believe there probably are any jobs for life anymore.
It can be though, acting, because people will accept you getting older and taking older roles and things.
Yes.
Whereas in a normal job, you are booted out from a bank, say,
60, 65, yeah.
Because they go, oh, you're too old, we can get somebody 21. Whereas when you're an actor, they go, well, no, not of experience.
Yes, but there is quite a lot of drop-off.
Yeah.
There is quite a lot of drop-off of people who stay and who are employed, and it is the nature of the business, and there's no point railing against it. It is what it is. And as long as you have a good time and you enjoy it, then, you know, there we are, and I have a family, and everything works around.
It balances it out.
It balances it out, exactly.
I think if you don't have somebody, it must be quite frightening. If you're whether an actor or an actress, and you're thinking, well, the phone never rings. Yes,
you do a lot of navel gazing, I think, if you don't have the balance, and start inwardly looking and start tearing yourself to pieces, whereas you go, sometimes there is no time for that. I have to do the school run, I have to organise the birthday party, I have to organise the husband's this, that and the other. So you know, you kind of go,
normal life.
Yeah, normal life. And you just go, well, that's great. And then you can go and think about yourself when you're doing a piece of theatre or some filming, and go, close that door, I have to focus on myself now.
What are the plans after the Go Between? Have you thought of anything, or is there anything you're working on?
Yes, well, I started a drama and literary festival at Hampstead Theatre a couple of years ago, so I'm already starting for next year, so year 3.
So, congratulations!
Yes,
that's good.
No, we've had great. We've had all sorts. We've had David Walliams, Darcy Bussell, Matthew Bourne, David Hare, Mira Sayal.
Big names.
Yes, no, we've had, and it's great, Sylvie. We've had loads of wonderful workshops for children, writing workshops, drama workshops, and writing, playwriting for grown-ups, and book writing, and so there's lots. So I've got planning for next year. So yes, and we've great media partners, Evening Standard. So I've got lots to get on.
You sound like you're a busy girl, Izzy.
Busy, quite busy.
Busy, is it?
Yes.
Listen, it's lovely to see you.
Thank
Congratulations.
You. Thank you.
Thank you.